we would all be in this room and we'd be talking about wrestling. And there was a young and then you know, life happens. You don't talk to somebody for a while, and then all of a sudden Tony Khan's opening up a wrestling company. I'm like, that is that the same Tony Khan? And like Dell's like, yeah, that's Tony from the chat room.
But speaking of people who have the gift of gab, you certainly do. And could you imagine yourself aligning with some wrestler of today, maybe, and maybe putting them over, maybe being a manager for them in, I don't know, WWE or AEW if the opportunity presents itself?
I mean, given my character is known for comedy, I would love to be with the best friends, in AEW with Orange Cassidy, Danhausen, Chuck Taylor, and they're great. I can see myself aligning myself with them. I'm surprised when I went to WWE. I'm surprised they didn't put me with the oddities, but I was happy to join with the Job Squad. Yeah, there's plenty of stuff out there. There are plenty of things in WWE. I'd love to do something goofy with the 24/7 title. Especially Raw's coming to Philly for Raw 30. I'm available. Yeah, acknowledge meanie. So yeah, there's plenty of things I can see myself doing, whether it be just a cameo appearance, one-time thing. I already made like a small appearance for AEW, which is a lot of fun. A great atmosphere backstage, great company. So I'm always doing something, but I'm just being a little bit, given how my body feels, I'm being a little bit more selective. I'm taking more meaningful bookings, and that's not a slight towards people who I might not work for. It's just, if I'm going to do what I'm going to do, it's gotta, more people need to see it. And, because my body doesn't heal like it does when I was in my 20s. When you're in your 20s, you can just do whatever. But now I'll be 50 this May.
Wow.
I got to pump the brakes a little bit on some of the things I used to do. No more meanie salts or stuff like that. But yeah, I can still see myself making appearances or making guest appearances, doing cameos or stuff like that, or stumble into a scene and cause a problem or make people laugh and then stumble out of the scene.
I'm glad you mentioned Orange Cassidy and Danhausen. Do you see a little bit of the Blue Meanie in both of them?
I see similarities. They're both amazing. They have the level of commitment to their characters that they do. Because it's easy to try to do that character, go, I'm just kidding. No, Danhausen is committed to that character. That when you see him at conventions, he's like, oh yes, yeah. Amazing. Most people would crack and be like, oh no, I'm just Brian. And same with Orange Cassidy with the, total commitment. And when you do a character, you have to be committed to it, and you have to be prepared to be that character, even when you're not ready to be that character. When Raven brought me into ECW, Raven's a genius, by the way. He just a lot of things he did with me and the younger talent in ECW. WWE does down at the performance center, because there's one. The first day with the new mouth, I'm breaking it in. He would do these things called, WWE calls these things called skull sessions, where they put you in front of a camera, give you a topic, and in character you have to answer as your character and Raven would sit there on a chair and go, okay, Blue Meanie, do a promo in character on toilet paper. And as the Blue Meanie, I would have to do a full on promo on toilet paper. And like when you're out and about as a professional wrestler representing the business that you're in, you have to be prepared to either be on or represent the business well. So that's something I've prided myself on, to be like some sort of ambassador for professional wrestling, to let people know that we're not all crazy people. I mean, we're crazy, but not certifiable, but just be a good representative of the business. Always, I'll talk to the younger kids. I have a couple students in wrestling, but like if there's a younger kid who comes up and be like, what do I do? I'm like, look, you represent whoever breaks you into the business, and then you're also a representative of the company you work for. Al Snow broke me into professional wrestling. He trained me. Everything I do reflects on Al Snow, good and bad. If I do something good, somebody go to Al, your kid's doing good things, Al. If I do something bad, they go, hey, Al, your kid's messing up. So same with wrestling companies. If you do something good out in the wild, it's a good reflection on the company you work for. If you do something bad, how could they hire such a guy? So that's the goal. That's been my goal all, my career and my life. Just be a good representative of the wrestling business, be a good representative of Al Snow, who trained me, and be a good representative of my family, So, I carry the torch of the people who took care of me forward, and let people know who are the people who helped me. So in turn, whoever helps the next person has the thought within their head to be mindful of everything they do, because it comes back not only on them, but the people around them as well.
Absolutely, man. And speaking of today's generation, how did that whole thing with Crowbar come about? I mean, did Tony Khan get in touch with you, and did you have a chance to speak to Tony Khan, maybe backstage, for that appearance?
I have a unique story when it comes to Tony Khan. Back in the early days of the internet, there's like AOL and the AOL chat rooms, and I had a group of friends that like we would go into, like we would create our own chat room and just talk. And then in one chat room it would be me, Mike Johnson from PW Insider, our friend Jeremiah, our friend Del James, who works for Guns N' Roses, and a young Tony Khan, and there's a couple other people, and chair shots to the head. I'm having trouble remembering their name, but we would all be in this room and we'd be talking about wrestling. And there was a young and then life happens. You don't talk to somebody for a while, then all of a sudden Tony Khan's opening up a wrestling company. I'm like, that is that the same Tony Khan? And like Dell's like, yeah, that's Tony from the chat room. And Mike Johnson's like, yeah, that's Tony from the chat room. I'm like, holy shit. Oh, sorry, I didn't know if I could swear.
Yeah, you can. Please.
I'm trying to be mindful. I don't know if you have parameters here on language, but like, oh my God. So when it came for working with AEW, they were in Philadelphia, and I'm blanking on who. Alex Marvez. Alex Marvez, who does a lot of NFL writing.
Right.
He used to come to ECW shows back in the day, and just hang out with from that chat room with Tony, Dell, Mike Johnson. There's a friend Jeremiah, and Alex would ride to ECW with our mutual friend, or he would meet up with our mutual friend Jeremiah and just hang out. So I knew Alex Marvez. I've known Alex Marvez since '95, and they were coming to Philly, and Alex reached out and said, hey, you're in town, you want to do something? I was like, yeah, absolutely. So QT Marshall reached out as well and hooked it up, and all right, they contacted me the Friday before the show. I was like, I think I could be there. And my wife made me a Mrs. Meanie, went and made me a custom AEW shirt that looks like the BWO shirt, and I kept it a secret. I didn't tell anybody I was doing it, which people say kayfabe's dead, but I don't buy into that theory. I think kayfabe is alive and well. When they said we want to bring in a surprise, I didn't tell anybody, and to the point where my wife helped make me a disguise so I could sneak into the building without being detected. You know, she's like, "Well, this is how you dress. Let's dress you totally different." Like, so I had this whole outfit on. I have a hat on, and I got my mask on. I'm wearing clothes I normally wouldn't wear. I take a cab, an Uber to the building. I get out. I've never been to this building before, so I'm on Google Earth scoping out where's the entrance, all this other thing. I'm looking at, oh, there's the entrance. Okay, so I'll have them drop me off here. I'll run through there, all that good stuff. So the Uber drops me off, and I walk through. I walk straight ahead. I walk in like nobody, like I belong there, which I do. And there's fans there. Nobody says anything to me. And my hair is like this. I have a way. I do my hair at the building now. I used to dye it full time, but not. I'm like this. I'm the gray meanie. So I show up and I walk through, and nobody says a thing. So I'm walking down the ramp. I go, oh, let me finish my Uber ride, and then I told a little fib. The only other person who knew I was going to be there was Crowbar, because I was doing with Crowbar that night, and Crowbar walks by me. I go, yo, Crowbar. He turns around. I go, ah. He's like, oh my God, I didn't know that was you. So we walk in and do the whole thing and find out what we're doing, and it was great. I mean, to get to work for make an appearance for AEW in my hometown. That's the benefit of living in Philadelphia. I've gotten to do a lot of, and being born in Philadelphia, I've gotten to do so many cool things in my hometown. I debuted for ECW in Philadelphia, debuted for WWE in Philadelphia, had my WrestleMania moment, WrestleMania 15 in Philadelphia. I still have the chair right there. And then I got to work for AEW in Philadelphia. So I've had a very fortunate life, but I've gone on a journey on this story about working for AEW, but yeah, I've had a unique experience. And when I saw Tony that day, he's like, Meanie. It's been a while. So it's pretty cool. Tony's a great guy. He's got a big heart, and he's got a great brain for the business. He's got great plan. His recall is amazing. Like, I can't remember. I just had for breakfast right before I did this interview, but he can tell you an angle from Memphis in 1972, and he's got a great brain for this business. And there's a reason why he's a successful businessman. And AEW's done amazing things. They just relaunched their new look, and they're doing fantastic things.